we're going to go ahead and take out our packet. As you're taking your packet out, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do today, okay? We are going to work on the warm-up, okay? I'm going to make sure that I answer some of your questions about the homework if you have any questions. Okay, this will be the time. If you have some questions, just ask some questions about the homework. If it's not too many questions, then I'll address as many as I can, okay? Today, I want to go over expressions. If you had any questions about some of the expressions problems from the assignment yesterday, I want to go over those. If you have questions about the expressions that we did yesterday, and then today, we're going to work on equations. And we're going to work on 1- and 2-step equations today, okay? So we're going to do some notes in our interactive notebook, and then we're going to do some guided practice problems, okay? Your homework for tonight, we've already labeled Wednesday night homework. It's the third set on your homework, the last page in the packet. And I'm going to walk around to check your homework from Monday and Tuesday since I was absent on yesterday, okay? All right, let's work on you should already have your packet out. I'm going to be checking your homework. While I'm checking homework, you should be working on the warm-up. All right, so let's look at the warm-up. Look at the warm-up. All right, which number is rational? Which number is rational? Okay, which one of these is rational? Yes, B is rational. Okay, these are irrational because they're non-perfect roots. Yes. I didn't check yours. I'll get it in a minute. Thank you. All right, let's look at this one. How do we solve for x? How do we get x by itself in this particular problem? What are we going to do first? Yes.
Take away 41.
Very good. We're going to subtract 41 on both sides. We subtract 41 on this side. This gives us 11. Bring this down. Now what do we do to get x by itself? This is division. Yes.
Multiplication.
So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, 1 over 2, which is 2 over 1, or just 2. And what's 2 times 11? 22. So x here is equal to 22. Raise your hand if you got that right. Good job. Okay. We all right? Everybody's good for me to move on? Okay. Just stop me if I move too fast. What are we going to do to solve this algebraic expression here? Yes. Distributive property. Good job, babe. So when you multiply -3 times both terms in the parentheses, what does that give you? What does that get? Yes.
-12a minus -6b.
Very good. Well, -12a is right. What's the second number going to be?
Positive
6b.
I didn't know if that was just a minus symbol or negative.
Gotcha. Same thing. They have the same meaning, okay? Good job. All right. Let's look at number 4. Everybody okay so far? Just raise your hand slightly if you need me to slow it down. Okay? All right, let's look at this one. What are we going to do to simplify this? Yes, babe.
You would see if you could add anything or do anything in the parentheses.
All right, very good. You're going to check to see if you can combine like terms in the parentheses. Check to see if you can subtract. Can I subtract these terms?
No.
No. So what's my next step? Distributive property. Okay, when I distribute, what does that give me here?
-6p.
-6p.
2w minus, no, plus 2w.
Plus 2w. A negative times a negative is a positive. Okay? Bring everything else down. Any questions about what I have so far? Okay, I forgot to put the waters back in there. I'll put it in there for tomorrow. All right. Now, what do we do next? What's the next step? Yes, babe.
Add like terms.
Okay, very good. Combine like terms. Which one can we combine?
-6p plus +6p.
And what does that give me?
0.
That's 0 here. What else can we combine together? Yes.
2 w's plus w.
Okay, and what does that give you?
3w.
It gives you 3w. Very good. Okay. Which has the least the least value, okay? All right, so here, to write this as a decimal, this is going to be 15 point, and let's divide. We got 11 into 5 for the decimal. How many times will 11 go into 50?
4.
4. That gives us 44, okay? And so this is going to be 15.4 something and some change, okay? We already, that's 15.4. What about the square root of 225? Yes, it gives you 15. So this is just 15 here. And then 10%. How do we do 10% of 155? This one's not that bad. Yes.
155 times 110.
Okay, very good. Times 0.1. So this is basically, we're just moving the decimal, right? This is 5, this is 5, this is 1. Okay, so it's 1 space. This 0 space is here. 1 space. So that's going to be what?
15.5.
15.5. Okay, so which one is the smallest? Yes.
The smallest one is C.
C. Good job. Okay. All right, so let's look at number 6. Which equation shows the relationship between x and y? So you're substituting these values in. Any guesses before we do the work? Yes.
B.
B. Any other guesses besides B? A. Okay. Any other guesses besides B or A? All right, so let's check it. All right, so let's look at A first. We have y is equal to the x. It's x minus 1. So I plug in 2. 2 minus 1 gives me what?
1.
1. That doesn't give me just 2. So A is not my answer, okay? Let's do B. Somebody said B, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so y is 1/2 x plus 1. So x here's 2. So let's do half of 2. What's half of 2?
1.
So this is 1 plus 1, which is what?
2.
2.
So that works so far. Let's do again. Half of 4 plus 1. Half. Somebody said it. 2 plus 1 is what?
3.
So that works. Then we got half of 6 plus 1. What's half of 6?
3.
3 plus 1 is?
4.
So that works. Then we got half of 8. What's half of 8?
4.
4 plus 1.
5.
5.
So that works. Okay, so did a great job on that.
I almost
Make
chose
sure.
D
Go ahead,
because
baby.
I almost chose D because it works for the first one, and that's it.
Yeah, that's why you got to go through all of them. That's why you got to go through all of them. I'm glad you said that. All right, let's look at the homework. All right, there were a couple questions. Some people had some questions about Monday. They got some of those wrong. Which one on Monday did someone need? Yes, baby. Number 3. And was there another one on Monday? Yes.
Number 5.
Okay. 8. Where's 8? Okay. All right. Number 3 looks like this. X divided by -2 minus 7 is equal to 8. Okay. Let's look at that. All right. So first thing that we do to get x by itself is to get rid of this negative or minus 7. How do we get rid of the negative or minus 7? Yes.
You add 7.
You add 7 on both sides. Great job. So this is gone. Let's bring this down. X divided by -2 on this side. And on this side, this gives me what?
15.
Very good. So now this is division. The opposite of division is multiplication. So you're going to multiply by the reciprocal of 1 over -2, which is -2 over 1 or just -2. Okay? This gives you x is equal to a negative what? 30. Okay? That's number 3. All right? Let's look at number 5. Number 5, it says the square root of 130 is between which two integers? Okay, so which integers are we thinking that it's between? Yes. All right, 11 and 12. Okay, so let's try. 11 times 11 is 121. So the square root of 121, that's on this side of it, right? That's the smaller one. And 12 times 12 is what?
144.
144. Okay, so yes, it is between these two. You see how 130 is between these two perfect squares? So that is the correct answer. 11 and 12. Please make sure you show work. That's what I mean by showing work, okay? Giving you an example. Let's do number 8. 8 is 5a, 5 to the a power, excuse me, I said it wrong, times 5 to the b power. Okay, if these bases are the same, what are you doing to the exponents? You're adding them. So that's a plus b. This is your answer.
You just put
Whatever
5,
a is plus whatever b is your answer. Yes, baby?
you just put 5AB. Is that the same or is that?
No, because that's multiplying.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to add. Yes, baby?
I put 5 like C because isn't A plus B equals C?
We don't know what c is, or a or b. So you're just adding a and b together, okay? Yes.
Could you be 10?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Number 10. Name all the sets that negative 100 belong to. It is a real number, okay? All right. Is it rational or irrational?
Rational.
Very rational, okay? Is it an integer?
Yes.
It is an integer. Is it a whole number?
No.
It is not a whole number, which means it can't be a natural number either. So these are the groups that it falls in.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a real group.
Oh.
It's not a real group, really. Yeah. It's a characteristic, but it's really not a real group. Yes. 9. You don't want me to do the whole thing. I'm not gonna have time to do any in Tuesday, probably. 9 is 5. Remember when it's a negative? We did this in the first week. Probably don't remember. That's okay. You write this as a fraction. So this is going to be 1 over 5 to the second. That's it. Anytime it's a negative exponent. 6 to negative 3. That's going to be 1 over 6 to the positive 3 now. If it was 100 to the negative 5, this would be 1 over 100 to the positive 5 now. Okay? You write anytime you have a negative exponent, you write it as a division problem. Because when it's positive, you write it as a multiplication problem. Yes, babe.
I did. Negative 25. I'm guessing that's not.
You did what, baby?
So I just did it the same. I just put the negative sign there.
Yeah, negative 25.
Yeah.
It's not negative 25, though. Okay, the answer for this one would be 1 over 25, which is not the same as negative 25. Yes, baby.
Also for number 3, I saw subtraction 7. For some reason, like, found a common denominator of -2 and got the same answer.
So for this one right here, baby,
Yeah.
you did say again?
So instead of like subtracting 7, I found a common denominator of like -2 and I got the same answer.
Oh, that's okay.
So you took away.
That's okay. Anybody else? All right. Okay. I have one more. I have time to do one here on Tuesday, and then I got to move on. Yes. Number 2. We'll do one like number 2 and number 3 in the lesson. So I don't need to do that. You just make sure you pay attention to the lesson. Anybody else? Anything that's different? Because those we're gonna do. Say again. Number 8. Okay. So number 8, you have 5 to the x power times, what's that, 5 to the third. Okay, the bases are alike, so you just add these exponents. So this is going to be 5x plus 3. Okay, y'all got it? Okay, all right. Okay, if after the lesson you still don't understand those, sweetie, just tell me, okay? Let's take out our interactive notebook, please. Please take out the expression worksheet from yesterday. That's the classwork that you did in the video yesterday. 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 I'm going over it today, though. But if you didn't finish it, just turn it in as soon as you finish, okay? All right. So in the video, I went through these with you. Everybody got that completed? Please look at your notebook to make sure.
Yeah, I got
Okay. All right. Then page 14, you should have gotten this. And I went through these different definitions with you. Okay. Does everybody have that?
Yes.
Okay. You said you need to make sure you finish that, okay? All right. Page 15, we did notes on expressions. All right. Are there any questions about the notes that we took on expressions yesterday? We did. There are two types of expressions. There's a numerical expression and an algebraic expression. Your numerical expression only has numbers and operations. Okay? And you can, parentheses could represent an operation like multiplication. Your algebraic expression, the difference between the two is that your algebraic expression has variables in it. Okay? How do you solve an expression? You're just using your order of operations. Some people remember their order of operations by saying PEMDAS, which means this, what I wrote in the notes yesterday. Do all operations within parentheses, evaluate or solve your exponents, multiply or divide in order from left to right, add or subtract in order from left to right. Okay? And then we did an example at the bottom. We did an example of how to solve a numerical expression, an example of how to solve an algebraic expression. And that was all in the video yesterday that you were supposed to watch. If you did not do that, you need to go back and you need to make sure you have that done, because remember, this notebook is 35% of your grade. Okay? Any questions? Y'all sure y'all okay? All right, let's do new page, please. This is page 16. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I told you I was going to go through that expression sheet. My bad. I'm sorry. Take out the expression sheet before I start equations. I said I was going to do that first. Please don't forget note cards. If you need some note cards, if you can't get note cards, please text me and remind and let me know. I think I have some note cards. Yes. You don't have this paper from the yesterday? Not yesterday, but day before? Oh, you want this? Okay, I don't have any more of those, so I'm just gonna put it online, and you'll have to print it. Okay, I don't have any more. I'll try to make some more copies, but I'll put it online. All right, okay. So don't forget note cards. These have to be in note cards. Anybody already start this already? Oh, good.
I was doing 5 a day, so I'd be done by Monday.
See, that's the smartest thing. I'm telling you, that's smart to do, y'all. Okay, I'm so proud of y'all. All right, so let's do the expression sheet, okay? I did some for you. And I told you which ones I needed you to do. The ones that were circled, okay? Just the ones that were circled. You didn't have, because that was a lot of problems. You didn't have to do them all because we was limited on time. And I wanted you to finish and submit. Okay, so you just did the ones that were circled. If you did extra, that's fine. Yeah, but you needed to practice. It's all good.
Does extra count for extra credit?
No.
No.
No, not this time. But sometimes it will, okay? Just not this time. Okay, so are there any questions about any of these that anybody needed to see? Number 7. Anybody need to see? 9, 11, 13, 12. Turn over on the back. Anybody need to see 15? Anybody need to see 17? 20? 22? 24? And 26? Nobody needed. Okay, well, I'm moving on with life then, okay? That's fine. That's good, I guess. Let's do page 16. Please make sure that you submit that online. Okay, does anybody need to see where to submit that?
No.
You need to see where?
It should be just right there.
It's right there. It is. But just in case, let me pause this. This is Q1 in the corner, page 16, equations. Yes, baby. I'm getting ready to move it. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I forgot to put the screen back.
Call this afternoon in order to go to the gym. Have a good day.
You too. All right. So the steps: we evaluate distributive property, combine like terms on each side of the equal sign separately. Then after you do that, you're going to move the variables to the same side. This is when you move the variables. Some people don't move variables first. They move constants first. But it's going to make your life so much easier if you move those variables first. So move the variable, whichever variable you're solving for, move the variables to the same side. Okay, this is where you're going to move your variables to the same side. Because if your variables start canceling each other out, then you already know whether it's a no solution or an infinitely many solution. But if you don't start moving your variables, you're going to find that it's going to be more work. You're going to have to do more work than is required. Because sometimes if they cancel out, you already know what your answer is. Okay? Move the variables to the same side. Last step, you're going to isolate the variable. Isolate the variable. How do you isolate the variable, Ms. Reyes? By using inverse operations. The inverse operation that you do first is going to be add or subtract. You're going to do that first. Add or subtract first. That's first. And then multiply and divide is last. Multiply or divide is last. Multiply or to divide is last. Multiply or divide to isolate the variable is last. So now let's do some examples. Let's do some examples. We're going to start off with one-step equations first. Okay, we're going to start off with one-step equations first. Number 1, you may see x plus 2 is equal to -3. And we talked about how we can plug and chug. Okay, we talked about how to do that. If we're using steps, we're showing work to isolate the variable. How we don't have any distributive property. We don't have terms that we can combine on either side. So the only thing that we're doing, we don't have variables on both sides, is isolate the variable. Add or subtract, multiply, divide. The only thing we're doing is getting rid of that +2. How do we get rid of a +2? Subtract it, okay? So we subtract 2 on both sides. When you subtract 2 on both sides, this is 0, so we're left with this x. And what is x equal to? -5. If I was to substitute, if I was to plug -5 in for x, -5 plus 2 is -3. Okay? Any questions about the first example? All right, so let's do this one. Number 2, let's do 8 is equal to a -4 plus y. Okay, so now we're solving for y here. We're getting y by itself. What do we do to isolate y? Because we don't have distributed property. We don't have like terms that we can combine. We don't have variables on both sides, but we can isolate the variable. What do we do to isolate the variable? Somebody was saying it. We're going to not subtract 4 because this is a minus 4 here. We're going to add 4 to both sides. Do you understand that subtracting 4 is going to make that a negative 8? It's not going to make it 0. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. What's 8 plus 4? Say again? 12. So y here is equal to 12. And if I was to plug this in, negative 4 plus 12, that gives me a positive 8. Any questions about that? Is there anyone that's lost? Anybody still writing? Okay. Let's do number 3. Okay. Let's suppose that we have, let's do 4p is equal to, let's do negative 4p is equal to negative 16. Okay. Again, there's no distributed property in this problem. There is no like terms on each side that need to be combined. There are no variables on both sides. So the only thing we're doing here is isolating the variable. That means we're trying to get p by itself. That means that we have to get rid of that negative 4. How is negative 4 and p attached? Multiplication. Multiplication. What's the opposite of multiplication? Anybody?
Division.
So what are we going to do on both sides?
Divide.
Divide by what?
4.
Negative 4. We're going to divide both sides by a negative 4. Okay? Go ahead and write that down, baby. Okay. So now what do we get? We get p is equal to what?
4, yeah.
Very good. Any questions about that? Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. Number 4. Let's do this. Let's suppose that we have, let's do 3 over 2n is equal to a negative 12. It's equal to a negative 12. All right, so now this right here attached could be, we could say this is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division, or we could say this is division, but you're still going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of what? 3 over 2. What is the reciprocal of 3 over 2? Do y'all remember what reciprocal is? Say again? 2 over 3, okay? Don't forget the word reciprocal. That means that you're flipping the numerator and denominator. So if I had 5 over 6, the reciprocal of 5 over 6 is what over what? 6 over 5. The reciprocal of 8 over 13 is what? 13 over 8. That's the reciprocal. They're not equal, they're reciprocals. Okay? So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of 3 over 2, which is 2 over 3. So let's multiply 2 over 3 on both sides. When we multiply, give you a chance to process a little bit. When we multiply 2 times 3 on the top, these numerators, that gives me 6 on the bottom, 6 on top, 6 on the bottom. That's what that looks like, really. At some point, you can skip that step, okay? Because you know that 6 divided by 6 gives you what? Gives you 1. 6 goes into 6 one time. So this is really just 1 n. Do I have to put a 1 in front of that n? No, it's understood to be there if I don't see it, okay? So now let's multiply this. Let's put a 1 under it. Make this a fraction by putting a 1 under it. So let's multiply straight across here. What's negative 12 times 2?
24.
What kind of 24?
Negative 24.
Negative 24 over 1, 3. Very good. So when I simplify this completely, that gives me n is equal to what?
8.
Negative 8. Okay? Any questions about that? All right, out of all of those, which one do you think is the easiest?
Number 3.
Number 1, somebody said,
Number 1.
and that's the one that's easiest. Okay, which one do you think is the hardest? Number 4 is the hardest. Okay, so I'm going to give you another one like number 4. You got bamboozled? Oh, then I probably would have said, I was going to do one like that anyway. Sometimes I make you think that it's your decision, but I really already have my mind made up. Yeah, that was the case this time too. All right, so we got 6 over, let's do 6 over, give me a number. 2. Oh, that's already 3. 7. Sorry, you should have chose something different. All right, so 6 over 7. Let's do n this time, okay? Oh, we did. You're right. Y, K, somebody said, okay, K. All right, and so let's make this a negative. Let's make it work out pretty good. Let's do 42. All right, so now what do we do here? Same thing we did in the previous problem. What are we going to do? Yes.
Do the reciprocal.
What do we do with the reciprocal? Multiply it on both sides. What's the reciprocal of 6 over 7? 7 over 6. Good job, y'all. Okay, so on this side of the equal sign, what do I have left over here? 1 what? 1K. Do y'all see what's 7 times 6?
42.
So we got 42 over 42. And how many times does 42 go into 42?
1.
1. So that's just 1K over here. All right, so let's do this. All right, so now this number is pretty big. So let's reduce diagonally so we don't have to deal with big numbers. So remember how to reduce diagonally? All right, what number will go into both 42 and 6? Greatest factor. Come on.
6.
6 is. So we're going to divide both these by 6, right? What is negative 42 divided by 6?
Negative 7.
This is negative 7. So this is going to be negative 7 up here. And here, this is going to be what?
1.
1. So now let's multiply straight across. Negative 7 times 7 is what? What's negative 7 times 7?
Oh, negative 49.
Negative 49 on the top. What's 1 times 1?
1.
1. So my answer is negative what?
49.
Okay, any questions about that? Okay, think about it. Make sure you don't have any questions, because I will have some of these types of problems on your quiz on Friday. Yes. You need a what, baby? Yes. Okay? I hadn't decided yet, honestly. Maybe. No, you don't want me to do 5, because if you miss one, you know what I mean? I don't think that's fair.
Do like
I think 10. 10 is what I usually do. I think 10 is fair. I might do 10. 10 or 20.
20. No, 10. 1.
Don't do 1. It's pass or fail with 1. That's not fair. All right. Okay, so now let's do 2-step.
We can put it on the other side.
Yeah, you can. It's the same page, though. Don't change the page number. Yeah, right. Oh, you can go online and do that, though. Yeah, this is the same page. Page 16 continued, okay? So don't do a different number. It's still 16. I want all this on 16, okay? I do that because some of our pages numbers will be different depending on how big we write. You know what I mean? So that's just the way we do it to keep up with the pages. So all of this is 16. Okay, so let's do this one. Starting the numbering over again. Let's start off easy, right? Do easy, Miss Reyes. 2x minus 5. Um, hmm. I kind of want y'all to, well, okay, let's make it easy. All right. So we don't have distributive property. We do not have combining like terms on each side. There's nothing to combine on either side. You can't combine this. There's nothing to combine with 15 over here. There's no variables on both sides. So I skip all those steps and I go straight to isolating the variable. Which one of these, what do I move first? The 2 that's attached to x or the -5? Very good, because you add or subtract first. How do I get rid of a -5? Add or subtract? Add. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So when I add 5 to both sides, this is gone. That's 0. And what am I left with on this side of the equal?
2x.
I bring down my 2x. It's equal to 20. Questions about that? Y'all good? Okay. What am I going to do to solve for x? Divide both sides by 2. And that's going to give me x is equal to what number? That's going to give me x is equal to 10.
Wait, what makes this problem different than the ones you were just doing?
Because we did 2 steps on this one and the other one's just one operation. Here we just multiply by the reciprocal to get our answer. That's one operation. Here we did addition and we did division. That's 2. Okay? So y'all good on that?
Yep.
All right. Let's do number 2. All right, all good questions. That's good, y'all. Let's do 11. It's equal to, let's do 4p, and let's do let's do -5. All right, so what are we going to do first here? Add 5 to each side. Okay, and what does that give you here?
16.
This gives you 16 is equal to what?
4p.
4p. Okay, now what are you going to do? You're going to divide both sides by 4. When you divide both sides by 4, what does that give you?
4.
That gives you 4 equals to p. Are we good with that?
Yes.
Okay. You got a question? Okay. Number 3. What did I want to use? Let's do a fraction on this one. Let's do we'll do easy fraction. Let's do 2 over 3. Let's do 2 over 3x. I used x. Let's do m. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's put this real quick. Let's do 2 and let's do this. Not gonna work out perfect.
What?
All right. Okay. We doing it? It's not that bad. Okay, so what are y'all thinking? What do you have to do first? You subtract 2 from both sides. Raise your hand if you got that part right. Okay, we're good. We cooking with grease so far. Okay. This is gone. So what'd you get over here? 8. All right, now tell me, we did this before. What are we going to do now when we get to this step?
Multiply by the reciprocal.
Multiply by the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal? 3 over 2. It's not that bad. It's not going to be that bad, right? So this is m. So multiply straight across. What do you get here on the top?
24.
24. And what you get on the bottom?
2.
Which is 12. Okay. You got it? Did y'all get that or no? Okay. Raise your hand if you did get that. Wonderful. All right. So the next page is just going to be practice page. It's going to be this right here. But we're not doing this practice page today. We're going to work on it tomorrow because we're almost, this class is almost over. But I want you to have it for tomorrow so we can immediately get started.
We're gonna have for the 14th question, have it where, what would be your grade?
What would be a what?
What would be your grade if you got set amount out of 13 classes?
Oh, I'm not going to do that.
I just have it as a bonus question. It won't hinder us, but it can help us. That would be genius.
No. Y'all trying to get over. Put it in your folder. You're welcome. Pass one back, please. Pass it back. All right, good folks. Let's get it together.